Good evening, everyone. Welcome, and thank you for joining us. This is Shockoe Sessions Live. It's a weekly live video streaming concert series promoting Richmond's vibrant music scene and rejuvenating your soul with live music from the comfort of your own home. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Shockoe Sessions Live. This is where we proudly showcase only the best live music right here from In Your Ear Studio A every Tuesday at 7:30. So I'll give you a quick second. Grab your refreshment, grab your pet, your friend, get cozy, start making dinner, grab a drink, whatever it is you need to do. But this is where you need to be every Tuesday at 7:30. I'm your host, Reese Williams, and just when you thought Shockoe Sessions couldn't be any more diverse, we've killed it with rock and blues and jazz and bluegrass and indie pop, folk, singer-songwriters, and tonight, plot twist, we're going classical. We have Classical Revolution RVA this evening. They were founded in 2006 in San Francisco at Revolution Cafe in the Mission, which is actually where I used to live, wink, wink. There are 30 chapters around the world, and they believe that there should be a buzz about classical music, surrounding classical music, not a stigma. And from what I heard during the sound check tonight, their performance is lively, it's lighthearted, and it is definitely buzzworthy. And not just because of what everybody has in our glasses. And at home as well. So Andrew, I would love to give you the opportunity to do the honors of introductions this evening. Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Thank you so much. It's great to be here. So tonight, Classical Revolution RVA is all about non-traditional ways of hearing classical music. And one of the most, or I said less explored veins of repertoire in classical music is the Latin styles. And that's what we've decided to focus on this evening. We're going to start in Iberia, which is like Spain and Portugal. And we're also going to start, the Iberian Peninsula particularly is like an object of fascination for people who write music, for composers and things. So the first part of the program is all other people from other places writing about Iberia. I was going to say white dudes, and now I said it. White dudes writing about Iberia. So the first one, and the most famously, a French author to write about Iberia was Georges Bizet. He wrote an opera called Carmen. And of course, that's for larger instrumental forces, but we're hoping we can give it kind of a folksy flair with this version for violin and guitar and soprano. The wonderful Hannah Magnelli is here to sing Carmen this evening, the well-known Habanera from that opera.
Phenomenal, phenomenal. We have several people who are checking in, just so you guys know, as you're performing. I'm checking comments on our YouTube channel. Plenty of people are in the room saying hello. And Dee Rubenstein says, a lovely lady and an incredible set of pipes. You know, Andrew, in the brief little setup, I said that you guys want to create a buzz around classical music. Not a stigma, but there are so many classical pieces that have sort of hit mainstream and that people recognize. You know, that's one of them. Why do you think some of them stand out like that? Were they parts of movies? Are they just dynamic pieces? Why do you think some of them become mainstream in pop culture?
Well, I can say, I mean, if we knew that, we would have discovered the panacea, you know, we would have the secret to success forever. But in the case of Carmen, I think what happened is, you know, there were so many more tools available for opera at that particular time in France and in Paris particularly. There was more money, frankly, and more support for the art form. And then also just this, like for instance, one of the mother sauces in France is the sauce espagnole. There's like an ongoing fascination with the Iberian Peninsula in France. And so that's what made that opera so big, is the sort of exoticism of it. So yeah, and like we love a good jungle setting in our modern films and stuff too. You know, we like those exotic things. So it's kind of interesting to think of neighbors that close geographically, like thinking of each other as exotic, but that's how it was back then.
Fantastic. Well, we have dozens and dozens and dozens of people in the room already. Myra says, love to learn about classical music this way. Maria says, she's my awesome best friend. Oh, that's so sweet. So lots of love and support out there already.
Awesome. Okay, well, speaking of love and support, the next set of piece, or the next piece, if you like, is by an Italian composer named Domenico Scarlatti. This is another guy not from Spain. But Scarlatti has the distinction of his dad essentially invented opera. And don't get too worried if you don't like opera, because Domenico hated opera too. Hated the opera mostly because his dad made him copy scores constantly, and all of his creativity was going to like supporting his dad's work.
Typical teenager.
That's right, yeah. So in his, I think it's his early 20s, but essentially, yeah, he has this like forget you, Dad, and like gets on a boat and ships off to Spain. And he was like a kept man, essentially, by the Maria Barbara, who was the Princess of Portugal, who became the Queen of Spain. Just kind of took care of this guy and paid all of his gambling debts for like 30 years. And in return, he wrote these 500 amazing sonatas.
Is that an old-time sugar daddy or no?
Essentially, yeah.
Okay.
She's a sugar mama in this case. Maria Barbara
okay.
is
So long as we know.
And thanks to that super epic Spanish sugar mama, we have 500 sonatas by Domenico Scarlatti.
Zucchero mama.
And yeah, she took good care of them. They weren't even discovered until I think it's 70 years after he died.
Wow.
But we're so lucky to be able to play this. So this is music that would have been played in the in the salon, or perhaps even in the bedchamber of a queen. Of course, the original version is for harpsichord, but we're doing it on 2 guitars. Me and my brother Ron are doing it on 2 guitars, which is, especially where queens are concerned, 2 guitars is probably better than 1.
Let's go ahead and tune it.
Classical Revolution RVA, ladies and gentlemen. Please show your support any way that you feel naturally inclined to do so. That could be liking and subscribing to our YouTube channel, sharing the link with your music-loving friends, obviously, by donating. We have the links on the screen, becoming a sponsor. Tonight we have a sponsor, Riverfront Investment Group. We'll get into them later. We couldn't be more grateful to them. Thank you so, so much. This is Shockoe Sessions Live, and Andrew's keeping things rolling on with our Latin-inspired ear fair? Ear fair?
Ear fair is
Did
good.
I just make up a new nomenclature?
I'll use it as often as I can.
There we go.
Just, you can start a new genre, ear fair.
Ear fair.
This is good, actually. Yeah, so some new fare for your ears. This is one that I wrote. This is some new music. So like more white guys writing about Iberia. But, you know, I guess I feel a little bit entitled because well, it's impossible to avoid the Spanish and Iberian repertoire when you play the classical guitar. There's so much great stuff. But beyond this, I had an opportunity right here in Richmond to play this stuff for many, many years. I had a weekly gig at Emilio's Ristorante at the Paella place out in Short Pump, and I just fell in love with this music, and I had the opportunity to really dive in deep and do some study on it. And Emilio had his favorites, of course. He would like go around the restaurant and sing when he liked the things that I was playing. So it was really, I'm really blessed. Big shout out to him actually for being such a patron to me early on and giving me such great affection for this music, as many other wonderful, and there's a great Latin scene here in Richmond too. And the music scene itself is also very diverse. So I got to know this awesome band, not a Latin band per se, but I got to know this great band called Rumput. Friends of mine that I went to music school with at VCU were in this band Rumput. And they are Indonesian keroncong music. You might ask, what does a music called keroncong, like super rhythmic music from Indonesia, half a world away, have anything to do with Portugal or Spain or anything? But the reason that keroncong music exists is that these Portuguese sailors brought, in fact, the four instruments you see in front of you, they brought those, well, the 16th century versions of those, they brought those to Indonesia. And their bringing of these instruments in Western harmony to Indonesia way back then in the 16th century is what led to keroncong. So many hundreds of years later, it's sort of living and thriving in Asia, it's really cool. And I got very interested in we were going to do a show with Rumput. And I was like, let's find out what these 16th century sailors sounded like. Like, I'm going to do all the research that's available. And it turns out that there was nothing. It turns out they're kind of like busy sailing instead of writing down their music and stuff.
Staying afloat is really important.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's kind of what the piece is about, actually. Trying not to die on the high seas. But it's meant to be, it's in three movements, okay? And it's meant to sort of describe not just the mixing of these traditions, the way that these players might have experienced West Africa, North Africa rather, and Eastern India, the East Indies, as they traveled through the Sudan into Indonesia. So I'm trying to see what 16th century Portuguese music, based on what I know from the courts and things, what was happening, what would these sailors have sounded like?
So you wouldn't be able to gauge the evolution if you don't have a starting point.
Yeah, well, so the interesting thing about music from this time is that the nobles, not unlike now actually, if the peasants do a thing, the nobles just do it longer and louder. So this is a less long and less loud version of the noble music from the time. There's a couple forms. The first one is called, there's three movements. The first one is called bait and tackle, like fishing, but it's set to a villancete, which means, the word is villano in Spanish, which means like folks, villagers. It's a folk dance. There's a great word for it in Scotland too, which is bumpkin. But it makes sense for the dance, like you bump your kin. So the first one is like a folk villagers dance called bait and tackle. The second one is called romance. Amor. That's just what they called a song. Romance is like a ternary song form from the period. And then the last one is called knife dance. Which isn't really a dance, but I wrote it after that thing, where you're bored on a sailboat and you stick the knife between your fingers and stuff. Yeah. And also it's about storms. It's called Stormy Seas.
I like the progression.
Yeah. Oh man, so this crew, I got to tell you, It's been really nice to have a reason to play some music with real human beings and get this ready. So this is Ron Alig on the Portuguese guitar. It's a really, really cool instrument from Portugal that is the ancestor of the instruments that became the chak and chuk, I think they're called in Indonesia. Anyway, that thing, so rad. This is David Raposo, the best bass player I could have possibly imagined to play this piece, and I didn't even know you were from Portugal, dude, when I asked you. And this is Becca Longhenry, ever stalwart operations manager of Classical Revolution RVA, and a kick-ass violinist.
Whoop, whoop.
All right. All right, so Bait and Tackle, a Maid Beneath the Waves, or a Romance, and the Knife Dance.
a cadence that I never know if I'm going to interrupt when I start to clap. I don't ever want to be. You're in the middle of a movement.
You can clap now.
Oh, thank you. Bravo, bravo. We have so many people checking in. Gigi says, so beautiful. Dave McClellan says, nice work. Bertha says, hello all the way from Australia. It's beautiful music for an early, cold, and raining morning in Adelaide, Australia.
Whoa.
Yeah,
Wow.
Destroyo Man says, amazing. Andy Choi says, Guy, the tides are getting a little rough. Storm's building. Charles Staples says, love watching this in the studio. We're going to see him shortly.
Awesome.
Ron says, groovy. People are just so excited. Sarah Gay said, dude, that sounded awesome. Sean says, love the intensity.
That's all I want out of life is someone to say dude after they hear my piece.
Right. And Krista says, wow, that was fantastic. I have a quick question. I noticed there's a lot of eye contact, obviously, amongst. Is it more difficult with the mask or are the eyes enough? I hadn't thought to ask anybody that yet.
Well, I'm going to blame all my wrong notes on the mask. How's that? It is harder to see your right hand when you do it. Yeah, and the eye contact is something that chamber musicians develop just as a way of communicating, like when tempos change or things, or when there's a really special moment that we've practiced together. It's like you look for those little microcosms, those little indexes that you've made together, and the eye contact is kind of how you unlock that. It's not unlike, part of why I wrote this piece for chamber ensemble is that it's not unlike sailing a boat. My dad grew up on sailboats, and I've been sailing for years, and you have to watch the boom at all times, and you have to watch each other, or the boom knocks you out of the boat. So it's the same with chamber music. You have to be constantly aware of the people around you and how to keep them safe, how to sort of maximize their efforts.
You're doing a lovely job, Captain.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Soon we'll all be standing in our chairs for you.
Oh, you're too kind. Oh my goodness. Perhaps the moment you've all been waiting for. I'm really, really excited to be playing with, for the very first time in my life, the wonderful Mexican actor, American-Mexican tenor, just a dynamo performer who's here with us tonight. And he's going to do we're about to do a song from a zarzuela, which is, okay, so we've come away from people writing about Iberia and Latin America into actual Latin American and Spanish composers. And so zarzuela, for those of you who don't know it, is a tradition of opera singing that comes from Spain and moves to South America. And it's just this absolutely rich vein of beautiful singing and wonderful composition and we're so thrilled to share some of that with you tonight via the talents of Mr. Pablo Talamante. This is called Adios, Granada, this is a Granadinas, which is like a traditional flamenco form from Granada. That's in southern Spain.
siento.
The best comment we could have received from Andy Choi, who said that dynamic control and that scarf removal. Whoa! This is Shockoe Sessions Live. Welcome everyone every Tuesday at 7:30. And this week we have a sponsor, and our fearless leader is here to tell us more about them.
That's right. I'm Carlos, and thanks for watching Shockoe Sessions. This wouldn't be possible without the support of people stepping up and helping musicians during this tough time. And one of those companies that did just that is Riverfront Investment Group, right down here in Shockoe Bottom, right, or Shockoe Slip.
They're our neighbors.
They're our neighbors, yeah. They're just right down the street. And they handle, investments for people that have a lot more money than me, but they do a good job. And the reason that I know they do a good job is because they called me up and they said, can we sponsor your show? And so they're doing a great job. And I just want to thank Rod and everyone over there, Bill Ryder, everyone over there at Riverfront. It's great to step up and sponsor a concert like this. This is absolutely fantastic. We have no other means of reaching out to people. We're getting a little bit better. There's some things going on, but this is it. So I'm really happy that we have sponsorship, and I'm really happy that everybody's out there watching and commenting and, being
a part of the party.
All that stuff.
Well, every week I say I love my life, and every week I joke that it's a private show, but I truly delight in seeing the musicians interact, because so many of them haven't warmed up and done sound check or performed or had that camaraderie and that physical closeness, even at a respectful distance, in a really long time.
That's right.
And so it's vital for artists.
Yeah. So let's enjoy some more of it.
Absolutely.
This is fantastic. This is great. I've wanted to bring this show for a long time because I think classical music gets a bad rap.
Turning Shockoe Sessions on its head.
Yeah, this is fantastic.
Myra Fairbanks says, Pablo was so amazing, the best. Andy says that dynamic control. I guess Myra is someone's niece? She says, yes, my uncle is awesome. I don't know who that is, Myra Fairbanks. So
from New York.
Maybe. Yeah. Okay.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
And then Lauren says, yeah, he's my uncle too, and I'm watching it with his wife. What an amazing talent. Love from us both.
Oh, how nice.
So
Thank you.
lots of warm participation.
Thank you so much.
You are very welcome. Thank you.
For our next selection, first of all, it's a pleasure being here with you. It's an honor. I've been looking forward to this for a long time. Andrew and I have been working on the program from the Iberian Peninsula, and The piece that I just sang is called Adios Granada, Goodbye My Granada, from the city in Spain, also called Granadinas, and it was written by Thomas Barrera. Thomas Barrera was a very prolific zarzuela composer, born in 1870, died in 1938. And believe it or not, he wrote 74 zarzuelas. And this piece that I just sang, Adios Granada, is actually one of the most popular ones and the one that kind of stuck there in the repertoire for the tenors. And the reason why I had a scarf on that, because it was the migration of the Spaniards into America. So it's a kind of a somber, goodbye, my native land. I'm going to never see you again.
It's powerful.
Continuing to that, in that same venue, we're going to perform. First of all, I'd like to introduce Charles Staples, a phenomenal pianist. He's with us tonight. Bravo. Charles and I have been performing in a lot of different places here in town and also abroad. And we had a trip scheduled for Mexico and kind of didn't work out because of COVID-19 and everything. So continuing in the same area, we're going to sing a piece called Cuerdas de mi guitarra. And it's a lament from the guitar strings. So my guitar strings want to tell you that she loves you. It is written by Agustin Lara. Agustin Lara, his father was also from Spain. He migrated to Mexico. As my great-grandparents came from Asturias into Mexico. So there's a large migration of Spaniards and from Poland, from Germany, from France. There was a large migration into Mexico and the United States at the late 1870s. So this is Cuerdas de mi guitarra, and we're followed by Granada, also by Agustin Lara, the same composer, which is one of the stamps of his most popular songs by Agustin Lara. So this is Cuerdas de mi guitarra.
Cuerdas de mi guitarra que en dulces sayes llorando van. Lloren que cuando lloran también mis ojos llorando están. Canta, guitarrica de mi vida, que al oír tus dulces sayes lleno de alegría. Canta, guitarrica de mi vida, que al oír tus dulces notas muero de alegría. La copla que canto yo. Soy de mi cielo español, sangre brava en mi corazón. Canta guitarra por mi raza cañí, canta tú sí sabes cantar, tú sí sabes llorar por mí. sabes llorar por mí. ¡Ole!
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Not only is your performance full of passion, but we're getting even more comments from relatives. I love
What?
this. This is so
My family
cute.
is not that large.
It's adorable. Javier says, very proud of you, Uncle Pablo. Hugs from Obregon.
From Obregon, from Sonora, Mexico.
Okay,
They're watching
okay.
from everywhere.
Barry
From
says,
Italy, from Spain, from Mexico.
wow.
Nice.
Yeah, we're getting a lot. Barry says, lovely to hear you play, David, play. Sherry says, it's so great to hear Pablo and Charles performing together again. That's Sherry Adams. Andy again, remarkable flexibility and lyricism from a powerful voice like Pablo's. He's our official music critic tonight,
Wow.
or commentator. He's great. Teresa Erickson says, amazing work from Pablo and Charles. Hope to perform with you again soon. Uncle Pablo, Uncle Pablo, Uncle Pablo. Nancy Coddington, bravo, Charles and Pablo. So lots of
Nice.
love.
Thank
This
you
is
so much.
fantastic.
That is great. I'm glad so many people are watching tonight. Yes.
Lots of passion.
So here's Granada.
Granada, tierra soñada por mí, mi cantar se vuelve gitano cuando es para ti. Mi cantar hecho de fantasía, mi cantar flores de melancolía, que yo te vengo a dar. Granada, tierra ensangrentada en tardes de toros, mujer que conserva el embrujo de los ojos moros, de sueño rebelde, gitana, cubierta de flores, y beso de tu boca de grana, jugosa manzana que me habla de amores. Granada, manola cantada en coplas preciosas. No tengo otra cosa que darte que un ramo de rosas de suave fragancia que le dirán marco a la Virgen morena. Granada, tu tierra está llena de lindas mujeres, de sangre y de sol. Suave fragancia que le dieran marco a la Virgen morena. Granada, tu tierra está llena de lindas mujeres, de sangre y de
to ruin it with words.
When I first came here, everybody, we were wearing masks, right? And it's like, how am I going to sing with a mask on?
Oh, we've given you freedom. Please. You have your own little area over there.
Thank you so much.
Wow.
Thank you.
Wow, I don't even know what to say. Plenty of people are saying things for us. Ayano in Hampton says, amazing music. It is transforming the home into a different place and time. Teresa says, we love and miss you guys. Somebody said hello right here from Richmond. It was Will Patty. Says, yes, Pablo, hugs right here from Richmond. Trini Strongoli. Am I saying that right?
That's correct. From New York.
Says the best singer and the most handsome too.
Oh, wow.
This is fantastic.
Thank you. Thank you. We're going to continue with Back to the Zarzuela. By the way, the piece that I did before is called a Paso Doble. And if you heard the piece called Cuerdas de mi Guitarra, had that pam pa 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 pam pam pa pam pam pa pa. It is the actual call for the bullfights. So the Paso Dobles was introduced from Spain, continuing with the Ibero-American, movement of the music from the Iberia Peninsula, with the Paso Dobles, with a lot of rhythms that came from Spain, and they were all, intermingled with Mexico and Cuba and all of Latin America, the tangos, everything got like a big paella, right? It got in there, all mixed,
and
beautiful,
Emilio's.
right? Yeah.
And these are the ones that sort of build with the clapping, dun 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 dun.
Correct. Yes. And this, we're going back to Zarzuela now, and this is probably by Pablo Sorozabal. This is a wonderful piece, and it's like the actual Spanish aria that is the most famous one for the tenors. It's called No Puede Ser, It Cannot Be. This is from Taberna del Puerto, and actually it was premiered with Pepita Enbil, which Pepita Enbil in Spain was the mother of Plácido Domingo. So Pablo Sorozabal had a lot of relations with the Plácido Domingo's parents, and before they migrated to Mexico themselves as well.
Beautiful.
So this is No Puede Ser. It cannot be that she doesn't love me. Her eyes, her smile, her face tells me she loves me. No puede ser.
No puede ser, esa mujer es buena. No puede ser una mujer malvada. En su mirar, como una luz singular, he visto que esa mujer es una desventurada. No puede ser una vulgar sirena que envenenó las horas de mi vida. No puede ser porque la vi llorar, porque la vi querer, porque la vi que lloran no saben mentir. Las malas mujeres no miran así. Y temblando en sus ojos dos lágrimas vi. Y a mí me ilusiona que tiemblen por mí. Que tiemblen por mí. Viva luz de mi ilusión. piadosa con mi amor, porque no sé fingir, porque no sé callar, porque no sé vivir.
No puede ser.
Wow. You, Pablo, you are clearly a vessel for the emotion. Are you able to let that go when you're done, or do you carry that with you for a little while?
It's very hard. It's interesting. There are books written about when you have to stay on a third person with your emotions, because of the voice is very, you can put pressure on the voice, you can, do anything to the throat. You have to be free. So if you get your emotions involved, when I've been asked to sing at a wedding, for example, and I sing at a funeral and things like that, I get emotional, and I have to really, really step back and perform with that emotion also, but controlled, a controlled emotion.
Well, you still embodied it, though. It's still channeling through you, so it's amazing.
Yes.
You're a pro, I understand, but
No.
it's still just amazing to see.
But Charles his piano is right with me. He's like an orchestra right with me. It's like he knows how I'm feeling. And he and I have worked together many times. So he breathes with me, and I wait for him, and he will carry it together. So we dance together with the music, so to speak. That is art, right?
It is beautiful to
That
behold, and that is why we're here.
Right. To finish, actually, I'm going to close the program now with a wonderful, we're going to move from Spain through Cuba to Mexico. I'm from Mexico, is that okay? But still with the Ibero-American or the Iberian Peninsula. So since we passed through Cuba, I didn't bring my hat. But we're going to sing a beautiful piece.
Borrow a hat?
No, you're good.
Hats all around.
This is a very Mexican song, beautiful song with the rhythms of Cuba, from Jose Sabri Marroquin, a Mexican composer born at the turn of the century and died in the late 70s, actually, a very famous composer. So this is called Nocturnal. You are my nocturne in my life, and I'm with you through the wind, through the storms, as the palm trees bend with the wind. So this is Nocturnal. And it has a tropical rhythm. You'll see.
A través de las palmas que duermen tranquilas, la luna de plata se arrulla en el mar tropical, y mis brazos se tienden hambrientos en busca de ti. En tu boca un perfume de flores evoca tu aliento embriagante y el dulce besar de tu boca, y mis labios se tienden hambrientos en busca de ti. Siento que estás junto a mí, pero es inútil, es ilusión. Y así paso las horas y paso las noches pidiendo a la vida el milagro de estar junto a ti. Y tal vez ni siquiera en tus sueños te acuerdes de mí. Así paso las horas y paso las noches pidiendo a la vida el milagro de estar junto a ti. Y tal vez ni siquiera en tus sueños te acuerdes de mí.
Just incredible. How lucky are we?
Thank
Just
you so very
incredible.
much. Maestro. Thank you, maestro.
Thank you so much. Do you guys want to come up and say good evening? Because unfortunately, that's our show. I need to figure out how to cope with this moment better. I really do. We want to thank Classical Revolution RVA so much. Thank you so much for being here.
It's our deep, deep pleasure to share music. And take a look at our Facebook page. In the coming weeks, we'll have video releases on the regular, and if none of them will be released on Tuesdays. Of course, you're going to be here with In Your Ear Studios every Tuesday at 7:30.
Thank you for the non-compete. We had you sign that beforehand, so
That's
thank you
right.
for abiding too.
Quite fastidious.
Of course, thank you to Riverfront Investment Group for being our sponsor this week. And if you'd like to be a sponsor as well, you know how to find us. Thank you to everyone behind the scenes, Carlos, Andrea, Paul, Matthew, Eric, Billy, Julian, everybody, Lucian, Charlie, everybody that's here. And very importantly, thank you to everyone at home who is sharing the link and liking our Facebook page and the YouTube channel and liking the video. And keeping things lively because it's live. We will be here next Tuesday at 7:30. The party continues. Our guest is Andrew Ali and Josh Small, and that is presented by Riverfront Investment Group as well with Jam Inc. So make sure you make it a ritual. Grab your snack to eat, your snack to drink, your snack to snuggle, all that good stuff, and settle in and join us. So thank you so much. That's our show, and that is a wrap. Thank you.